Hi and welcome back to the channel. Tennis Maguana here, and today I want to do something very different. I want to review Kool and the Gang's 2021 album, A Perfect Union. I've been waiting for this album for a very long time, and I totally appreciate that it's been a difficult time for Kool and the Gang since the passing of Ronald last year and Dennis Thomas earlier this month. Along with another event in 2021, I've been waiting for this album for a long time, and it doesn't disappoint. Kool and the Gang have been one of my all-time favourite bands for as long as I can remember. Ever since I saw them in the 1980s with JT Taylor on lead vocals, singing stuff like Celebration, Ladies Night, Fresh, Get Down On It. This band have been with me through thick and thin. I also attribute them for getting me through some really dark patches in my life. There was a period of my life where I was unemployed for over 3 years and it was so difficult to get a job, and Light of Worlds by Kool and the Gang was my soundtrack. That was the album that gave me hope for the future. And Kool and the Gang really are a remarkable band. Kool and the Gang have been going for over 50 years and they're yet to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is absolutely shambolic in my humble opinion. But who cares about that, right? We all love Kool and the Gang. Even if you don't know their discography like I do, you will be familiar with so many of their songs. She's fresh, exciting. She's so exciting to me. Or Cherish, you know, cherish the love we have. We should cherish the life we lead. And obviously, who could forget Celebration? There's a party going on right here. A celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate and party with you. Come on now. They're just absolutely incredible. And you know, and when I was growing up in the 1980s, I was well and truly familiar with this band. My mother used to have lots of soul compilations. She used to have this tape called Heart and Soul that whenever we went out for a drive, it would always go on. It had Barry White, it had Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and Kool and the Gang on there. And I was just absolutely mesmerised by this band. They're just absolutely perfect. Every era and every lineup, I've been well and truly satisfied with the amount of raw funk or disco classics that they've been able to just put out time and time again. And this time they've put out this sensational album that I've been waiting for so long, and to be honest, I was expecting it to be a little bit underwhelming. I just kind of thought with all the heartache that Robert Kool Bell, the top man in the band, the amount of heartache this man's had to endure this past year, I honestly felt that he would have dropped the ball with this one. But Perfect Union is, for me, a perfect album. When I'm feeling down, I need something like Kool and the Gang to try and at least bring me out of that mood. And in many occasions in the past where I've had feelings of despair and paranoia and anxiety, my go-to choice album that I would use as my medication is Light of Worlds from 1975. Light of Worlds to me is a musical masterpiece. Not only does it include the incredible Summer Madness that we're all familiar with. I always ask people, have you ever heard Summer Madness by Kool and the Gang? They go, no, I don't know that one. It's the one with the synthesizer where it goes that one, right? And people instantly recognise it. It was in Rocky, you know, one of the most popular films of the 1970s. That song was right there. But what Kool and the Gang have always been able to do is to create absolute joy out of nothing. They've always been able to create this amazing music that can not only get you boogieing, get you dancing, but also just make you feel a little bit better, a little bit more hopeful about the future. And that's an amazing achievement. They're such a generous band with their talent, and I absolutely applaud them every time that they ever appear. It's difficult to explain how happy this band has made me here. I've been playing the tracks all weekend. I've been having a family celebration this weekend, and it's went down so well. Everything has been just going perfectly for me this weekend, and I don't mind saying that. Usually when I plan things, it all blows up in my face You know, I'd like to think I was Hannibal Smith, and I'd love it when a plan comes together, and it's absolutely happened for me this weekend, and I'm so delighted by all the lovely messages that I've got from my YouTube followers and things like that. It's been an absolute pleasure to have these people as friends. Now, before we get into this album, I want to send this message out to Robert Kool Bell, and I want to tell him that I feel your pain, brother. You know, losing someone so close to you is, no matter what age they were, it's just so painful. Ronald Bell and Dennis Thomas, who are just they're just absolute legends in my eyes. Absolute legends. I used to watch a Kool and the Gang video over and over again on tape from New Orleans, 1982 I think it was, and the performance that they gave on that night is just absolutely magnificent, absolutely sensational. If anyone's never seen that performance, type in New Orleans Kool and the Gang into YouTube and prepare to watch your jaw drop. So let's get into the album. Let's discuss this terrific new 2021 album by Kool and the Gang that I have been waiting for so many years. Now, the first track that I ever heard of this album isn't the title track. It is actually called Sexy, Where Do You Get Yours? And this song I heard many years ago. They played it in 2017 when they came to Glasgow, and they brought the whole house down. Even my friend, who's more familiar with the old school Kool and the Gang stuff, he was absolutely blown away by this song. And it goes something like this. You can be staring, and I can't help it, 'cause your body's so amazing. So amazing. Anybody ever treated you special like an occasion? An occasion. Every little time it gets me, you're always looking sexy. You wherever you go. Never left home without it. Ain't no doubt about it. I'm sure this news you already know. Where did you get your sexy? Hoping you could connect me with you. Oh yeah. Tell me who you're using. Where did you get your sexy? Oh yeah, so sexy, sexy. So sexy, sexy. You're so sexy. Yeah, I first heard that song in 2017 when I went to see Kool and the Gang, and I was absolutely mesmerised by it. I think I've listened to this song over 1,000 times, and at that time I was like, so where's the album? When is this album coming out? And I would constantly go on Google, Kool and the Gang, new album, Kool and the Gang, new album. It's going to be here in 6 months, it's going to be here in 8 months. And little did I know that Ronald Bell, who is the absolute mastermind of some of Kool and the Gang's greatest songs, such as Celebration, of course. I didn't realise that he was ill or anything like that, or anything was going on in the band. You know, they do keep their cards to their chest. There's never been an official memoir by Robert Bell or any of these artists, and I respect that. And I'd given up hope. I'd given up hope that this album was ever going to appear until earlier this year. By chance, I was just looking up Kool and the Gang, as I always do, and there it was. August. It's coming out in August of 2021. I was like, here we go, I cannot wait. And the first track that they dropped from it was the title track. I need to interrupt this dopey Mzungu right now to explain that the song is not actually called A Perfect Union. It is actually called Pursuit of Happiness. Sorry for that. Perfect Union, which I would describe it as kind of, you know, you could accuse it of being a little bit hippy-dippy, you know, all that sort of, I want to live in a world with peace and harmony sort of thing. And you know what, I'm absolutely fine with that, and I think it is a song that is needed right now. I think it's a song where there's so much division in the world, there is so much intolerance going on due to this virus and due to inequality, that it's really nice to hear this kind of sentiment at this time. Now I'm here in Loch Lomond, and I'm with my family enjoying a terrific weekend away. And it's kind of interesting. I've been so preoccupied with my YouTube channel and getting ready for this event that I completely neglected to listen to this album on its opening day when it first got released. I was so gasping to hear it that when it finally arrived I had other things to do, but this weekend I've given myself the opportunity to give it a really good listen, and I want to introduce you to some of the absolute standout tracks. This one here, The Weekend, it just says everything about how I'm feeling this weekend. You know, it's as if it was written directly for me. Yeah, that's just such a party song. That just makes you want to get your best suit on and just boogie all night. Yeah, it's an absolute gift from Kool and the Gang. This particular song, right as I'm celebrating my Liberation Day that I did on Friday night. This is Sunday now, and I'm just absolutely elated by the music that I'm hearing through my phone. And you know, I know it's not the ideal way to listen to Kool and the Gang. I'm going to purchase the vinyl when I can, get the opportunity to do that. And it's just honestly, I don't think I've smiled so much in the last 2 years like I have today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving this gift to us, and I'm going to treasure it forever. Thank you. And also another standout track for me was one that Robert Bell himself had shared on Instagram. I do follow the man on Instagram, and he left me a wee thank you note when I sent him a sort of a little cheeky message about how much I just couldn't wait to see this out, couldn't wait to hear this album. And I was absolutely stunned. You know, I know that he's not got his entourage sitting there operating his Instagram. He's not that kind of guy. He's doing it all by himself. You know, he's old school. He's an old school superstar. And this one here, I only heard the first few bars on his Instagram, and I was like, instant classic to me, instant classic. That's the kind of music that I want to hear right now, and thank you so much.
Hey love, you always make my day shine. And I've been watching you just like the sunrise. Been down, I've seen it all in your eyes. Cause you kept messing around with the wrong guy. I know you're looking at me like I heard this before. But girl, you really good for yourself, but you deserve so much more. Baby, I'm gonna give you everything you want and need, girl. But you're giving me, life got so much better when I had you. And there ain't nothing I had me all to myself. And you're mine all mine. We're gonna have a good time.
All to myself. All to myself. I got you all to myself. Glad I got you all to myself. So glad I got you all to myself.
How could anyone?
yeah, that song is just ideal for me. It's very similar to Daft Punk, I would say, with a kind of 80s vibe. A lot of these tracks on this do have an old school Kool and the Gang 80s vibe. Like when JT Taylor was the lead singer. JT Taylor is like an absolute god to me. And it's interesting that on Instagram that I could see that Robert Bell and JT Taylor were communicating over the passing of Dennis Thomas. So I'm hopeful that maybe JT Taylor will come out of retirement and just, you know, make it ladies' night one more time. The man is. I used to do singing in school back in the 1990s. I used to be a member of an a cappella choir, which was one of the greatest times of my life. And my music teacher was always quite critical by saying that I didn't use my own voice, that I would imitate other people. This is your night tonight, everything's gonna be alright. This is your night tonight, everything's gonna be alright. And I would say the voice that I emulated the most, because I'm a bit of a mimic. I can't help it. I hear an interesting accent from a different part of the world, or you know, or the way someone sings. I'm impulsed to emulate it, to mimic it in some way. I can't help it. And JT Taylor was always that singer that I gravitated towards the most, and it would be a dream come true if he rejoined Kool and the Gang once again. That would really make my millennium. And All To Myself was just an instant classic to me, instant floor filler. As soon as I heard that first few bars, I was like, I'm there, I'm sold. Thank you, wonderful, wonderful piece of music. And you know, I've been going through all the other tracks, and I can't see fault with them. I cannot see fault with them. That is definitely probably my standout track. This one, Good Time. It's all we want, innit? We just want to have a good time all the time, and Kool and the Gang are the facilitators of that. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of a sort of disco style song, maybe in the sort of tradition of Chic, or some of the Kool and the Gang contemporaries at the time. But it's definitely them. It's got their signature all over it. One thing I've always, out of all the other funk bands such as the Brothers Johnson, Parliament Funkadelic, even James Brown, I've always believed that Kool and the Gang had the best brass section. I don't know what it is about the horns that they just did so much better than any other band. And you know, I'm not a musician myself. You know, I'm kind of out of my element to actually review a musical album, to be perfectly honest, but I just had to get this down. I just had to express the absolute joyous feeling that this music gives me every time. This band has got me through some really dark times, and they've always produced music that is just an elation to listen to. Royalty by Kool and the Gang, 2021, what a tune. Here we go. you're not crazy. You're absolutely perfect, honestly. And you know, when they did that song "Sexy" a few years ago, which was just an absolute perfect song, they brought on board this new chap, Walt Anderson, who, when I first laid eyes on him, I thought, have they cloned JT Taylor? Have they cloned JT Taylor? The man was the spitting image of JT Taylor, the most popular lead singer from Kool and the Gang. And I've been following that chap on Facebook and Instagram as well. It was absolutely lovely when he put up a video blog from when they were touring Kenya back in 2016. I actually could have attended that gig if I actually arrived in Kenya one day after Kool and the Gang made that appearance, and I was absolutely kicking myself. I was kicking myself my whole life. I've always wanted to see that band. 2016, in November of 2016, they appeared in Nairobi, Kenya, which also ended up on YouTube as well. The whole gig is on there and it's excellent. And at the time I was feeling rather down that I missed Kool and the Gang. I mean, Kenya's an amazing country and I had such a great time there, but it would have taken it to the next level if Kool and the Gang, if I got to see them in Nairobi. That would have been magical. But the good news is 7 months later, on my actual birthday, on my 38th birthday, Kool and the Gang came to Glasgow, my hometown, and played in the Kelvin Grove Park, and it was, wow, it was magnificent, absolutely magnificent. So although I missed them in Nairobi, they came for me on my actual birthday, and it was the greatest birthday party I'd ever had in my life. It was just outstanding. This is your night tonight, everything's gonna be alright. It was, every single song was perfect. The only thing that I would have criticised about that concert was when they did Summer Madness. The audience just couldn't remain quiet for Summer Madness. Summer Madness is a slow, mellow jazz piece, and the audience there they just couldn't keep their mouths closed. So most of the time I was like, shh, trying to listen to this absolute masterpiece of music, and no, the audience just didn't have the patience for it. But other than that, every song they did, fresh, they were just perfect. And I don't want to go too heavily into the album. I want to leave some surprises for you, but you must get out there, buy this album, get it on iTunes, get it on Spotify. It is the gift of the summer. It is what 2021 needs right now. 2021 needs some escapism from this madness, and Kool and the Gang are the people that will bring that to you. It was great that, back in the 90s when I got right into them because of the Wild and Peaceful album. It was the only album that I could actually purchase in Glasgow. They were quite a hard band to get some of their more obscure albums. But then when the internet started and you could get eBay and things like that, that was when I could get into the real deep cuts. Stuff like Kinda Funky and Sugar, and what's the one that just, Rhyme Time People, what absolute peach of a track. And even their live version of Stop, Look, Listen to Your Heart, what a great cover that they did, and their version of Come Together. So many great deep cuts out there to discover. If you only know Kool and the Gang from their greatest hits, Celebration, Ladies Night, Jones versus Jones, then you don't know Kool and the Gang. Go back to their first album in the 1960s. Go back to like Music Is the Message and Who's Gonna Take the Weight. All these fantastic songs that they've just blown me away every time. I just want to end this video, right, by saying to Robert Bell himself, I'm going to try and send you a message on Instagram, right? I don't expect that you will ever watch this video, but I'm hopeful that you will, because I just want to say to you, Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you. You're an absolute gentleman, and all of your music you should be so proud of. I am proud of it. I'm proud to have listened to this. I'm proud to have been brought up with this kind of music, and you've brought me so much happiness over the years, even though you don't even know me. And I also want to say that this, even though this is just my regular YouTube channel and I usually review films and put up wee silly mixes and things like that, I also want to take this opportunity to use this as an audition tape. Yes, this is my audition tape. My mother always said to me never to join gangs, and you know, you hear all the horrible stories of the Bloods and the Crips, the Hells Angels, all these horrible gangs from the past, but this is one gang that I would love to join. And I want to end this by saying, when you say you love somebody, you got to let them know about it, and let them know it. When you say you love somebody, you got to let them know about it. Time to show. Let's have a nice big fat jungle boogie together. What a great band. I love you guys. I hope you all stay safe, and peace, love, and funky times.